Hello, my pleasure to come your way today. In this edition of You and Your Health, you should never forget, not even to your loved ones. It is quite pathetic that we have a quite disturbing news right here in the country, and as a matter of fact, a tragedy that has been part of the system we must have to address. A promising young boy regrettably died on a circumstance by which some say it is mysterious, some are still asking questions. The mom also asks, as many people are asking. It is important for you to keep today's program for life. You know what? What happened to this boy is very dangerous for the country, and unfortunately, many will die simply because of the story of this boy if you do not understand the message of today. It's quite a very horrible one. It's not a pleasant one. And that's why I want to call on everybody, call your friends, call your loved ones. This is what it could be described as say, affliction shall not rise the second time. May it not happen to you. May it not happen to anyone linked to you. And the only way for such not to happen is for you to be able to know where the intestine of this boy went.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You are still on You and Your Health. I remain your friend, Dr. Richard Okoye. I've actually not been in the country for a while, and I got this particular post on the internet being shared all over the world about Nigerian horrible healthcare experience where doctors now stealing the intestine of their patients. I came back to receive the news. On pages of newspaper, the boy with missing intestine died. What actually happened from beginning to the end of the journey? Before we get details of this, I want you to hear the mom out once more.
My name is Deborah Abiodun. I am Adebola Akinbright's mom, the boy with the missing intestine at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital last. It all started in March when he had ruptured appendix. We had to take him to a private hospital at Ilepo, Opitox Hospital, and the surgery was done. After 2 weeks, he was discharged, and we were going on our life normally. Unfortunately, after 3 months, he came with a complication of intestinal obstruction, which we had to take to the same hospital, and he was also operated on. But unfortunately, after 7 days that the doctor at the private hospital gave us, there was a leak. There was still leak coming out from the intestine. So the man said he would bring a professor at Lasut. So on we got to Lasut on the 14th of June, and another surgery was done on the 17th of July. That is around 27 days after. It was after the surgery that the lead surgeon called us that they did not see small intestine in my son's body. The question is, how? What happened? How did that happen? When did the small intestine got missing? And that is the question I've been asking as a mother since 17th of July up till this present moment. And none of the doctors, either private or the ones at Lasut, have been able to provide answers. And even the lasting solution is, according to what we have researched, that it's intestinal transplants. And we don't have much information about it, but we know that according to what we heard, that it cannot be done in Africa or Nigeria. It's abroad.
I don't know how you feel concerning this kind of story. And of course, it's not just thing that happened today, because this is what he testified, asking for help even before the child died. I got this very message while abroad. I was so broken. I know what she must have passed through. Parenteral nutrition is not poverty friendly. I donated 1 million naira to them, but I know as a doctor that the life of that boy at that point was not just only threatening, it's a prognosis that is very, very bad. But let it not be that the family so suffered it all the way. Be that as it may, it is important we answer the most important question. We can do nothing about this case. There's no explanation whatsoever that could be given until her question, and of course the question of every other person, what exactly happened to this intestine? Do you know what he said? She said she has asked that question for months. And nobody, say both doctors in public and the private sector, were able to give her a convincing answer, which implies of a truth there must be a cover-up from the doctors. Maybe they know more, they didn't want to tell, because this deal must have been something ongoing, whereby doctors are selling intestine. Do you know the implication of this and why it becomes something? I must be here to answer her family members, answer each and every one of Nigerians. Try also to see how we can clean up the mess this particular message has spread across the globe. That's why what we get today, if it gets you well, please share it with someone that will be otherwise a victim. I can tell you, many people will die. If we do nothing about this, many will die, following some other condition that is otherwise preventable. Should I tell you the most painful aspect of this? The most painful aspect of losing a vibrant, a promising young boy is that the condition that kept this boy in this state, or right now in the grave buried, that particular case is preventable. Everything you see here, very painful. My heart goes to the family. But it is preventable, Nigerians. It's important for us to know. And why this very question must have to be answered is that if it is not done, I tell you, this will produce more deaths. How? We already living in a society where people are right there with all manner of narratives, deceiving people. Some will tell you, as a matter of fact, some people right there in the house, even some people hearing me right now, will be in the house ill. And what will happen? Someone somewhere said, do not go to hospital. If you go to hospital, you will die. Your problem is a spiritual attack. And majority of Nigerians may have cancer or something related that can even be prevented or cured. We don't get to the hospital. And we have another, maybe more convincing evidence that even when you get to the hospital, the doctors will sell your intestine. No, don't take your children again to the hospital. They sold somebody's intestine and more will die. And that's why my heart is connected to this, connected to you to hear me out, because many will be victim of this if we do nothing.
You and Your Health with Dr. Richard Okoye, now on TVC News every Sunday by 3:30 p.m.
Now, this is how it all began. This young boy had appendicitis, inflammation of the appendix. It's not today's problem. Appendix-related problem is not a today's matter. As a matter of fact, in 1561, Gabriele Falloppio actually discovered describe the appendix, and they carry out the procedure and how it was done there is not contributory here. Appendicitis is one particular condition. God knows how dangerous it could be if ignored, and give a warning sign that should never be ignored. One key symptom anybody that has appendix will have is that there is a pain, he call it the iliac fossa, right side of this very place. The pain will be there. All right? Other signs the doctors will elicit. It may not be something you should on, but if the person, you praise the person, hey, he had that very garden, a pain around these axis. All right? It's usually very peculiar with appendicitis. But something is also unique about that. God allowed that particular pain to be a pointer of you should do something before something do you. So the pain continued to increase in intensity. But you see what happened here? And what most likely, because this young boy must have been crying, complaining, and the pain may be severe. And at that point, sometimes even surgery may be recommended. Somebody will say no. Take antibiotics and take painkiller. The beginning of the death of this young boy commenced from such an engagement, most probably. Then the pain will come, the boy will say, Mommy, I'm having pain, or be telling the school people I'm having pain. That's why you need to be in position, even when your children are in school and they have certain health concerns, get involved. I'm having pain here, Mommy. A guy, then please, I'm having pain. Nobody may listen. They will buy painkiller and give. They buy antibiotics or painkiller and give. You know the implication? That painkiller will just kill off that particular warning sign and the safety God has given, and the pain may not be as severe. He said, no, it's getting fair, but what is going on? The appendix itself is getting bloated. It's getting bloated. And all of a sudden, it will burst. Boom. And every of the content of that particular appendix will pour inside this, because it was actually, by analysis, seen to be a reservoir of certain bacteria, of intestinal bacteria. So everywhere will just... If nothing is done for that particular condition, that person will die. Many of our people have died from there. All right? So the first thing is that when this young boy had this ruptured appendix, it is at that time, life and death. He was rushed to the hospital. When he was rushed in that private hospital, I don't know the name of the private hospital, but I want to explain to you what most likely happened. When it has to do with ruptured appendix, it's an emergency. So you rush into the theater and you open, so it becomes an open laparotomy that you are now exploring everywhere, because you have to watch off all the nonsense that the thing has already spread everywhere. After watching it, you also close that very hole that is remaining, tie it very well. And you know what? That particular condition, sometimes, depending on other prevailing situation in the hospital, somebody may do that operation and the thing may begin to develop another problem again. But from her testimony, within 2 weeks, that boy got well and was discharged home. Excellent job. Let me put it to you. No matter all the challenges that happen in that hospital, give it to that hospital that they saved the life of that boy in the first place. All right. So, can we now ask for that question? What exactly happened for which the missing of the intestine story started? The boy was home. The mom said 3 months after, the boy started having some level of disturbance that led to what is called intestinal obstruction. So the intestine at this point was not missing. So the intestine was not stolen or being sold from the first surgery. And we have a question. And this question is very pertinent to us.
It was after the surgery that the lead surgeon called us that they did not see small intestine in my son's body. The question is how? What happened? How did that happen? When did the small intestine got missing? And that is the question I've been asking as a mother since 17th of July up till this present moment. And none of the doctors, either private or the ones at last, have been able to provide answers.
Now, we have a very critical question here. And the beginning of the missing of the intestine started here. She made something that is quite critical, and that has to do with the issue that says that they got into that same private hospital and they went in for surgery. That is the option. But please get it clear to us. When we are talking about this intestine, there's something unique God did. The intestine is very long. As a matter of fact, the small intestine itself is about 7 meters, almost like 3.5 times the height of an average man. All right? It's about 7 meters. Why did God make this thing so long? He made it long simply because in a situation something happened at a particular point. We could be in position to remove that point and see join together, and that very intestine, that person can be alive. What do I mean by that? In a scenario where you have a pipe, a long pipe, and there is something that is obstructing the flow in that place, you can cut off the normal place and cut off the other normal place and join the other two ends together. That is what is called anastomosis. But please hear this. This intestine receives blood supply. And whenever there is an issue, within 6 hours of that intestine not receiving blood supply, it will die. It will turn black. It goes what is called gangrene. And this gangrene is something you know. If you see intestine of a very freshly killed cow, it will look very, looking quite fresh like this, all right? But he discovered that if you take that intestine out, over the time it turns black. That black means there is no life in it again. And in this particular case, when that boy started complaining, that complaint may not be on that third month they went to the hospital. It may have been coming because of that addition that may have twisted intestine. If he continued just to go on, at the point of getting to the hospital when it becomes serious to open up, you know what will happen? Nobody could tell the extent of that surgery, because if the blood supply is dead, the whole intestine, as much length as could be involved, may undergo gangrene. Even when you put a stitch, just like a meat that is already decaying, even if you put any needle on it, it follows you. What happened in the theater is that at that point, what the doctors will be mindful of is to see how much of this intestine that could be saved. Now, listen to this. They will look out for the portion of the intestine that is still looking like normal and healthy and cut off from that side, and get to the other side again and cut off and try to anastomose them together. The length that may go is relative, depending on how they have delayed before coming into the hospital or whatever they may have actually delayed before that time. Get that? So when the joining was made, she testified something that could professionally happen. He said that after 7 days, the doctor said there was a leak. That is to say, even though you join it together, at that point, the edges may not be too good. It may start leaking again from that side, which will require another intervention. The more intervention, the more complex it becomes. That is the way at the point, they now said no. After trying to manage with other things, let manage conservatively, they have to refer to lawsuit. All right? The lawsuit for them to be in position to continue. But this is where the problem of the doctors and the reason why this very program you and your health started is on the ground of our communication. When the professor that did the surgery, 30 days after the other one, I don't know why the gaps, but 30 days after, when he went in, most probably, because when the intestine is left like that and all those coming together of everything, intestine, everything come together, it may be frozen. It may become a frozen abdomen. The doctor, the professor may have gone in there, try to see how he can do their dialysis to search everywhere cobwebbed. He may decide to close back and come out. Now, where is the language where he said, the doctor said that they couldn't find the intestine? I'm not there to tell you, but this is where the role of doctors in the modern dispensation should come in. Of course, the public didn't go to medical school the way we went, and our terminology is not the same as the terminology of the common man. The doctor may have come up, and put it to me that the intestine is not accessible. Okay. Not accessible. Sometimes we use some other grammars. We normally tell the patient, we can just say that the problem is seen to be iatrogenic. Even if you want to get becoming indicting, let's say the problem seems to be iatrogenic. That is iatrogenic. You must tell me where itro go. So, your problem is idiopathic. You say, what kind of idio? You must tell. So most of these terminologies end up leaving the patients in more confused state. So for her to ask, how? Can you tell me why was he missing? It's not wrong. She's not at fault to do that. Because the way it may have been communicated, no, but I'm not sure, I'm not there to tell, but there is a gap in language communication. I should tell you this. I put it to you, please hear me. So that if you have a child or somebody having this kind of problem, go to hospital early. You know what? There is no way. No doctor can sell an intestine. Why should I say so? Listen to me. At least I've been privileged medically. She testified that she was told that he may require intestinal transplant. That is to transplant another intestine, but it is not done in Nigeria or even in Africa. That is to say, any doctor that said the intestine has no way to sell it. It is of no relative use. Hey, listen to that. Even in University of California, Los Angeles, where you can have multi-organ transplant, even the issue of intestinal transplant is not possible. That's why when I gave them 1 million naira to keep as a support, I never did with a whole that will be an intestinal transplant because the whole place is already come together from what I know. The truth of the matter is that intestine within 6 hours, if it's strangulated, is gone. It's completely gone. That's why in morgue, they tend to remove the intestine when they want to embalm somebody because most time it's very offensive. It has a lot of bacteria and a lot of stuff. Please, let's be able to get to the root of this particular matter. When I got this very message abroad, I was so destabilized. The reason being that people will be seeing that is how the healthcare system in Nigeria is. It's not true. I'm telling you, effort is being made in this country. Even if it's not from government perspective, a lot of facilities are coming up in Nigeria to still be able to help out on most of those things people travel abroad to do. We cannot undermine all that and be projecting this. That's why I said, even when you have a concern, maybe you were not well treated, should I tell you, there are bodies, government body, Ministry of Health is there. For you even to put up this complaint, even the Nigerian Medical and Dental Council, they are there as relative policing. They will not just only be in position to give you a better explanation, even if you are an offending doctor, could also be penalized for that. But there's no reason that we should pick all kinds of stuff, not proven, and put it on social media. It is the image of your country you are killing. It is the image of your country. People feel, oh, that is the way Nigerian healthcare system is. It's not true. I can put it to you, it's not true. Watch out in our time. No matter what the challenge we are having today, the Nigerian healthcare system will surely come up as one that can be reckoned with in the globe. The summary of what I'm putting across to all of us today is that it is important. When you have a health-related issue, start first from the known. Go to the hospital. Don't think it's an attack, or let nobody tell you, no, don't go to hospital, you will die. That's why we don't have cancer survival in this country. A lot of things can be done as early as possible, and that's why most people that may have prostate-related problem will leave it until the kidney is damaged. You see some people with kidney stones, they will leave it. Whereas these things are things you can even do today without even tearing the body open. Right in this country, it's happening. Please look at this code. Just use your phone right now and scan this very code. It will take you straight to the where this message is on YouTube, also on Facebook. Or you go to Facebook on Dr. Save a Life. Copy it and share to your loved ones. Copy it and share to your loved ones. Those that will hear the peripheral message of this will end up not going to hospital, and more will die on this that is 100% preventable. Today, appendicitis can be done. You don't even need to tear the body. The same day appendix case present in the hospital can be finished and asked to go home. It's happening. It's not that it will. It is happening in our own time. Why should we allow our people to be victim on ignorance, and not only that, spreading that ignorance to the world?